Moving on from one end of Europe to the other, we take a little choo-choo train all the way to Romania.
Ah. Have you ever been to Romania?
I've been to Moldova, which is kind of like Romania.
Okay.
It's like I don't know. It's kind of the Baja California to Romania's California.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked it. I had the best cup of coffee of my life in Moldova.
No shit.
Yeah, it was really good.
Interesting.
Can you read this quote from me?
Yes. I'm not going to do a voice, though.
Can you do a voice for me?
Okay.
You can do any voice you want.
I'm just going to read it straight. First, they delete you. Then after that, there are imaginary charges and send you to jail. And the third is put a bullet in your head. I've kind of used up one of my lives. So when they were contacting and calling all of these people, it's like they were trying to drum up some charges on me. They're trying to find a reason to send me to jail.
Can I do it in my accent? First, I delete. Wait. I'm trying to do this without. I really need your support on this, audience. I'm not making fun of people who have developmental disabilities when I do this voice. I want to be clear on that. I'm trying to do an impression of Andrew Tate in his bizarre English American accent. So give me some fucking slack on this. First, I delete you. No, fuck, I can't get it right. First, I delete you. And then after. Wait, okay, listen, I really need some slack on this. And then after there are imaginary charges, okay, I can't do this without, I'm sorry. I went to, just to be clear here, I went to a school where there's a lot of, it's okay for me to do that, but I'm not going to finish reading the quote, just in case.
All right. We're talking
so
about Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, yeah.
Let's talk about what happened. Give our listeners... Let's little backsie-upsies. Little beep, 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 beep.
I want to plant a little flag in the ground here, right? Put a little helmet on the head.
What kind of flag?
Romanian. Actually, no, a TrueAnon flag. Actually, which is coincidentally the same thing as the Romanian flag. We have been on the Tate beat for quite a long time.
Since before people even knew who we were talking about.
One of
when
our
we
very first
him.
episodes,
yeah.
I mentioned that Jordan Peterson's daughter, Michaela Peterson, her all-beef diet apparently extended to Andrew Tate's penis. I described him as I believe, a human trafficker.
Yes.
And
Camgirl warehouses, I believe, is what we talked about.
Oh, yeah. And look at this, 2023. He's in prison. So let's go back.
Everyone wants to give Greta credit.
Uh-huh.
They're always giving it to these kids. How about this? Give us some credit.
Yeah. Give us some credit.
I'm not too proud to take shine away from a child.
No. Well,
is she still a child?
She's an adult now.
Is
she?
Yeah.
She's an adult. So, yeah, I'm definitely can take the shine away from her. Greta didn't do shit, all right? It was me. I've been in touch with Romanian authorities since day one.
All right.
Back in April of 2022, the police, this is in Romania, by the way, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate live in Romania. Police raid their house and another property that they own. This is apparently due to a tip-off from the U.S. Embassy in Romania. So Tate, there was a lot of there wasn't really any. I think there might have been one or two, but there wasn't a lot of statements forthcoming from the Romanian police during this period. So we found that he was raided on questions of human trafficking, but the police never came out and gave a bunch of follow-ups or anything. So Andrew was out there. He was going on all kinds of podcasts and on Tucker Carlson, where Tucker compared Andrew Tate's investigation into Andrew Tate and human trafficking to Julian Assange.
Everyone wants to be a good troll. They want to be a little troll, right? They think, "Oh, look at me, I'm trolling online." You can't do it as good as Tucker.
No, that's
a fucking great troll.
That's a great troll right there. But Tate's excuse at the time, which seems to be accepted by most people, is that this was a case of what he called swatting by the jealous boyfriend of a girl who had been at a party at Andrew Tate's house. So because I remember reading about this and actually watching an interview with him where he sort of described it. And the story that he basically lands on is that there was a girl who was in Romania for whatever reason.
Interesting.
And at Andrew Tate's house and was posting Instagram stories there.
Right.
And her boyfriend back in the USA saw those stories and then contacted the embassy, and they called the police. It seems a little much for me.
Yeah.
But that was the story, and that was what was commonly accepted by people. However, that 2022, that April raid, rather, that did have the Romanian police, that saw the Romanian police, rather, taking a bunch of documents and what might be termed evidence from some property owned by the Tate brothers. Meanwhile, as I'm sure many of you recall, 2022, especially the latter half, saw Andrew Tate's rise to extreme internet stardom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no one could stop doing podcast episodes about Hustler Academy.
Yeah, we did one. I took Hustler Academy.
It was like sort of about it, but not
It
really.
was just about being red pilled.
Yeah.
And I am, unfortunately, I got to tell you, after watching all that stuff, I'm pretty red pilled now.
That's how they get you.
You know that the pill he takes in Total Recall, also red pill.
No
they
one can be
offer
more
him.
red pilled
He doesn't take
than
the
me.
pill. Anyways, he's reinstated onto Twitter when Elon takes over, right? Attention, I feel like
So fucking stupid.
I know. I feel like attention around him kind of starts like evening out at that
Yeah.
point. Like, I mean, he's still obviously very popular.
But the moment has moved past him.
You can only write so many stories, right? On December 27th of last year, so basically a month ago, he, out of the blue, tweets at Greta Thunberg.
Which, can I say something about Greta really quick? I feel like she, much like Tavi Gevinson, who I've talked about on the podcast before, of course, suffer from this thing where they're just both going to look like children for the rest of their lives.
Does Tavi Gevinson look like a child?
Yes. And I wonder if it's something that we like, it's like a child actor thing too, where Macaulay Culkin was always going to be a baby for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? It's like a child actor thing.
Macaulay Culkin does look like, but Macaulay Culkin looks like a baby who is breastfed with pure heroin
It's like
water.
the image of them as a kid is so burned in our brain that we associate. Anytime we see just them now,
It
we just
superimposes?
associate. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So Greta, I'm sorry, maybe dye your hair, get a wig.
Get a wig? You think? I think Greta, if you're
No,
listening
not
to this,
a wig. How about just this? Bangs.
dreads.
Okay, we can
Dreads.
go with your way.
We're going with dreads. Greta, you need to get fucking dreads.
She should get dreads and go like crazy, like eco-terrorist.
Yeah.
And then turf bangs.
You need to be
for when she flips.
I want you to look like that one guy from Children of Men. You know what I'm talking about?
Remember in the Matrix, the crazy
The twins. I never saw that, but that definitely did impress itself on my mind.
They definitely had dreads.
Anyways, he says to her, do you want to read this or should I? Might lose some listeners if I read this.
Oh, okay.
I can do it. I have free cards. Okay, you got to do it.
I think you should do it.
Sorry, Andrew Tate possibly has the worst accent in human history, and so it's really difficult for me to do it. I take the cards. My Bugatti has a W16 8.0L quad turbo. My two Ferrari 812 Competition have 6.5L V12s. This is just a start. Please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions. Okay, that is an Andrew Tate's accent, but that's as close as I can approximate.
All right. Well, Greta claps back,
Okay.
which sounds like the name of a movie. Greta claps back at Andrew Tate, basically telling him like, oh, you should email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com, which everyone is like, oh my God, stop. It's like,
Highly
that
liked
hasn't
tweet.
been a hit for like months. It's like a little like,
A little asterisk on that, too.
it's like a little late to the
asterisk.
game on that.
My one piece of knowledge that feels like I have to express it every time I hear as any kind of dick energy is put out there. Big dick energy was a term coined by a member of the group Party for Socialism and Liberation in reference to Pete Davidson.
That person listens to the show.
Well, shout out to you for inventing that then.
I just saw that Lotto is going to be on The Bachelor, so let's just leave it at that.
Don't know what that means. So anyways, the next day, actually later that same day, Andrew Tate, did you see the video that he made, Liz, clapping back himself?
Yeah, with the pizza boxes?
It's a rough thing. Here's my thing. I'm like, if you're a guy, you shouldn't be wearing a kimono unless you are a clinically obese, very jolly, kind of, or like, I don't know how to describe it. In my head, it's like a 65-year-old dissolute gay man with a open kimono and maybe a necklace. So it's sort of combining like the classical producer Jew with like the
Sting.
Sting?
With Sting.
I don't know enough.
Like a new age. You need like a creepy kind of, but like well-intentioned older new age gentleman.
Yes. Yeah.
Like maybe you've got a wood bead necklace.
Yeah.
That you got in Bali on your Kundalini retreat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would also add that any cool Japanese guy can wear a kimono.
Yeah, again, yeah. If you're Japanese, all good. But I'm saying if you wear a kimono as like a white guy, you really need to have the full. You know, I gotta be honest. Actually, maybe Andrew Tate can wear a kimono because he is kind of.
No way.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, nevertheless he's wearing.
How tall is Andrew Tate?
He's 4'3".
He looks like a small man.
No, I think he's about.
He has the energy of like a short guy.
Are you saying he has small dick energy?
I didn't say anything about that. But
I would say he's sub 6. He's sub 6.
Yeah, it just feels very like.
He's 6'3"?
Yeah,
that's fake. That's online. That's fake. That's fake.
Actually,
no, but he was a professional fighter, so maybe that is real. Actually.
Anyways, he makes a really whack video,
and he's handed a pizza box, which does mean that he is a sex trafficker. And that next day, the Romanian Directorate, you never want a directorate involved in your life. No. The Romanian Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism detained Andrew and Tristan Tate, plus 2 Romanian women, Luana Rada and Georgiana Nage. I actually have no idea how to pronounce it, but it's spelled Naghe. Romanian's got like all kinds of little dips and dupes above the fucking letters. And so like, listen, if I pronounce something wrong, you know what?
Doesn't matter. You can pronounce it any way you like.
It's a name. Exactly. On charges of human trafficking and one person of those 4 on suspicion of rape. So lots and lots of misinformation, disinformation researchers who also dislike Andrew Tate spend the next day being like, oh, Greta, he got arrested because he did the clapback video and there's a pizza box in there and the pizza box says it's a Romanian.
Yeah, I saw those.
It's like, dude, how do you think people get in the country? They fucking stamp their passports. So like, yes, he got arrested probably because the Romanians knew he was in Romania because he came into the borders of Romania.
No, it was the pizza box.
It was a pizza box. So on Saturday, Romania authorities really just like descend on his compounds and take all those Bugattis and the fucking car. I think they get about 15 sports cars, a bunch of luxury watches, a bunch of money in different currencies. Amounts to about $3.9 million worth of stuff that they grab. The next day, December 30th, that 24-hour hold he was on initially, that all 4 of them were on, extended to 30 days and has now been extended another 30 until February 27th.
Love it. So he's still in prison.
Still in jail, but yes.
Wow.
And it's kind of as the days go by, because a lot of his defenders are coming out there being like, the fucking Matrix got him. Like, you know, it's like they're trying to like come after him for telling young men to like
rape women.
Rape more. Yeah. Because I'm like, not really, it's kind of unclear on like what advice he's really giving people. It's like, stand up for yourself and like, you know, it's okay to hit chicks like once every couple days. But the case kind of becomes clear, and what emerges is that Andrew Tate has been luring women over to Romania using what is called the lover boy method. And
sorry, what?
The lover boy method. And then engaging them in online sex work, where he would take most, sometimes maybe all, of their money and then maybe not let them leave the country or the house.
Got it. So he's a sex trafficker.
I would say that would be definitional sex trafficking. Yeah, but so the lover boy method seems to be. Have you heard of this before?
No.
I feel like I've heard of it before, but
what is
not
this?
really. It's basically like, from what I can understand, you kind of like get in with a woman, you like seduce her, and like really like are like, you're the one for me, like I love you, I love you.
In person or on the internet?
Probably both, a mixture of both. I would assume a lot of this was very online, although he probably met these women.
Okay.
But like, it seems to be women he would find maybe on Instagram and stuff like that. And he would be like, I want you to move to Romania and like, marry me and all this kind of stuff. They would fly to Romania, and he would set them up with these two women that he was involved with, which the two women that got arrested along with him and his brother, one of whom is a former Romanian police officer. He would set them up with them, and they would sort of like essentially like get these women to start doing OnlyFans or Chatterbait or whatever, those like websites, cam girl stuff. And there would be, I guess, one thing that, because he did talk about this very openly in interviews too, about because he was known to be a cam girl pimp,
right?
But his whole thing was like not getting women who had experience in the trade. So he would get women who had
because that's the trafficking part.
Exactly. And it's also just like, you could probably, if somebody doesn't know how the business works and like all this stuff, you could also probably get them to take you could rip them off more. And so
easier to traffic.
Yeah. Absolutely. Unfortunately, Andrew Tate has also been engaged, along with his rise to stardom, in a years-long campaign of basically telling on himself at every available opportunity. So one thing that you don't want to do is go on podcasts, numerous podcasts, and brag about how you moved to Romania because the judicial system is corrupt, because you can get into organized crime easier, because tax fraud's easier, and because they don't arrest you for rape.
Yeah, this is what I never understood about Tate and like all these people kind of rushing to defend him, especially when there was like, especially when he got banned and all that shit. Remember all those people rushing out to be like, oh, he's just like a whatever. Like, he's been on multiple podcasts and shows and YouTubes and whatever, literally talking about how he's raped women.
So that's one thing that like really kind of blows my mind about a lot of this stuff, because he's become sort of like a cause du jour for like a lot of conservative and then like anti-woke people and stuff like that.
Until he basically got arrested, I would say.
I would say still, yeah. I would say a lot of people kind of like fell off.
Fell off. My bad. Kind of walked away.
But like I would say there's still a lot of people who go pretty hard in the paint for him, because he is, I just said hard in the paint.
I noticed that.
That's when you stick your erect penis into a big old gallon of paint and swirl that motherfucker around.
No. It's the little, what do you always say about basketball? The scritch
and the scratch of the shoe in the basketball court.
There you go. Going hard in the paint,
That's what that means. Oh, hard in the paint's a basketball reference.
Yes.
Okay, well, thought it was sort of like a home improvement thing. Andrew Tate is, by his own definition, and in fact calls himself this, a pimp. And a pimp is a pretty low sort of person, right? Not a lot of people like pimps. Traditionally, kind of a job where I would say an overwhelming part of the job description is the abuse and exploitation of very vulnerable women.
Yes.
And it's sort of astounding to see, because Andrew Tate would describe himself as somebody, often would describe himself as somebody who is into conservative social values, right? Like he likes traditional women. He has like traditional masculine values. And while it is true that throughout history, it has been normal in many societies to treat women very poorly, I'm really not sure exactly when it was like traditionally okay to be like just a pimp taking women across borders.
Well, unfortunately, for quite a long time.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, true. But like, So we also find out that, some women come forward in a Vice documentary and some articles about his 2015 arrest for rape in England. And some text messages come out, including him saying things like, I love raping you, or I loved raping you. And another woman who came out and said that Andrew strangled her.
Ugh, what a fucking pig.
I know. The Romanian prosecutors also released some text messages, a little too long to go into here, but basically just showing essentially what we've described here, like him convincing women to come out to Romania and then involving them in an online sex trade. And as part of his Hustlers University course, he would talk about how the main thing is to basically give the women $0 to tell them to have them sign fake tax forms every once in a while and say that you're taking more of their money to pay for taxes, when in actuality you're just taking their money from them. He wouldn't let women leave the house without an escort. And it's pretty nasty business.
Yeah. He's a fucking this guy's got I hope he fucking rots in Romanian jail.
I have a feeling he will be probably going to Romanian prison, because that's another thing. You don't want to go to a country like Romania and then be like, these guys will never arrest me. They're such fucking corrupt idiots. And then you will probably get arrested.
Good riddance.